So I'm Brett Haggard. I'm the head of distillation at the Johannesburg Distilling company. Interesting story. The Johannesburg Distilling company was actually a product of the COVID-19 lockdown. One of the few countries in the world where we had a complete ban on alcohol was actually in South Africa. Yeah, and the logic behind that was obviously they wanted to keep load down at the state hospitals. There's a large correlation between motor vehicle accidents and all kinds of interesting incidents that take place, related to alcohol. So South Africa actually put a 3-month ban on all alcohol completely. And what had actually happened was our alcohol stocks in our household were starting to get depleted. You could have alcohol at home, you just weren't able to go out into the stores and buy it. So I decided to do something about it. My wife bought me a tiny little 5-liter copper pot still. And while everybody else was watching Netflix and running around their gardens trying to keep fit, I taught myself how to distill. I enrolled myself in a master distillation course. I taught myself how to distill. I was making products at home. And when we came out of lockdown and we had an opportunity to start meeting our friends, then they started to get tasting some of the stuff that I'd made. And the feedback was just unbelievable. So I immersed myself in this distillation process. And then straight after that hard lockdown, when things started loosening up, we found investment, we found space, we applied for liquor licenses, we carried on with our product development and fleshed out a really, really nice range of products that, are garnering a whole bunch of awards internationally. So, nice. So the first award we actually picked up for Cloudburst, which is the gin we entered in the London Spirits competition, was about a month and a half, 2 months before our liquor license was granted. Right, we used product development stock in order to enter another award, and we won a gold at that. We were actually mainly entering that to get expert feedback from judges and get some guidance in terms of what direction we should be following with the product and ways we could make it better. And instead of getting some scoring sheets, we won a gold medal. The second award we entered that into was, of course, the London Spirits competition, and we were quite happy with the score we scored on liquid. This is the nice thing, is we tend to score extremely highly on liquid, in particular when it comes to Cloudburst. So we won a silver at the LSE, and then more recently we've now picked up another gold, right? So that's Cloudburst. So the story behind this product is actually quite cool, in that Cloudburst is named after the iconic Johannesburg thunderstorms, right? So we've essentially set ourselves an extremely tough brief of bottling petrichor, which is that, the way rain smells, I suppose is the best way to describe it. I'm not going to get into the details of the biological and... So there's a whole scientific process that takes place. There's organisms that live in the soil, and when rain hits the soil, spores are released, and what you're actually smelling is you're smelling the smell of rain, which, there's only one thing in the world that smells like rain. And a lot of people don't know this, but Johannesburg summers, we have these colossal thunderstorms. So we have these beautiful balmy days, and at about 3:00 in the afternoon, the clouds pull in, and it literally looks like the end of the world. And it rains like hell for 15 to 30 minutes, but I mean a proper cloudburst. And then the clouds go away, and then it's a lovely day again, right? And you can almost set your watch to this thunderstorm that happens in summer. And us being the Johannesburg Distilling Company, we thought our first product needs to have something very iconic about Johannesburg.
Nice.
All right, which is this very, very nostalgic thing about Johannesburg called the Cloudburst. And of course, that marries through in the flavor and aroma that you get from our gin, in that it's very earthy, it's very floral, but it's not conventionally citrus like the vast majority of London dries. So, and the reason for the label being purple is Johannesburg is covered in jacarandas, all right? So, of course, the jacarandas bloom in summer, and after this massive storm, which happens every single day, the streets are lined with fallen jacaranda jacaranda blossoms. You have these purple streets, right?
Nice.
So that's quite a nostalgic thing, yeah. So a very small distillery located quite centrally in Johannesburg.
So which markets is it available in right now? Like what kind of countries, or are you just in South Africa? And what kind of markets are you looking to expand into?
So right now we're only available in South Africa. We've had a fair amount of interest from Israel. So there's some buyers that are interested in taking our product into Israel, and that's largely as a result of the fact that we're actually in the process of getting kosher certified for our product. Quite a lengthy, arduous process, but that is one of the hygiene factors for success in Israel. Yes. And of course, it's worthwhile, the investment and the time and effort in terms of getting that right for the Israel market. We've got a bit of interest from Australia. We've got a little bit of interest from the East, but right now the product's only available in South Africa. And we think the real potential for this actually exists internationally, from the perspective that South Africa has a massive expat audience living all over the world. South Africans have traveled all over the world, have settled there. South Africans are very nostalgic and very patriotic. So to have something that is the Johannesburg Distilling Company and tells this beautiful story about Joburg, we think is where the real potential lies. And that, of course, runs through the whole host of products we have. I mean, I've brought a couple of other samples along. We have Thursday, because in Johannesburg we have this thing called Puzza Thursday. So Puzza, literally the translation is drinking Thursday. Thursday is our big night out, right? And this is your easy drinking London Dry.
Yeah.
Our vodka that we make on site is called the Big Smoke. All right. And that's because our nickname for Johannesburg is the Big Smoke, because when you drive into Johannesburg from a lovely weekend away somewhere out in the country, you can actually see this cloud of smoke.
I mean, this is a no-brainer for any South African restaurant, especially internationally, if they are pushing South African cuisine. This is a great story, they can tell in their restaurant.
No, absolutely. And, we've honestly just been of the opinion that not enough people celebrate this fantastic town that Johannesburg is. It's a crazy mishmash of people and cultures and activity, and it's sometimes a bit grimy and it's sometimes super slick and upmarket, but it's this beautiful melting pot of all of these cultures. And, as is fitting, Johannesburg Distilling Company, we have to celebrate Joburg. So
that's a fantastic story. I'm loving it. Where can people find you, Brett? What's your website, social handles? Just throw some call to action on where people can find you for pricing or samples.
Sure. So we are joburgdistilling.com, JOBURG distilling.com is the web address. We are Joburg Distilling Co. on every single one of the social platforms. So, and it's not just Joburg Distilling. The .com is again a play on company, right? So Johannesburg Distilling Company, which is the name of the distillery. And then we do a lot of contract distillation also. Oh, nice. So we've made some bespoke product for some hotel groups and country clubs in the Johannesburg area. We take a very, very ambitious brief from them in terms of what fits with their theme and the metaphor that works with them. Sometimes it's a bit floral. The Bryanston Country Club, for example, wanted something that was extremely citrus. So that was quite a difficult process because, as I'm sure you're aware, citrus pushes a lot of oils into the mix, and keeping the product clear while pushing a lot of citrus oils into it was a bit of a fun road we needed to walk down. But and we're getting a lot of interest from that perspective. It's been great to just see this fantastic love and appreciation that people have for our products. And we've entered 5. We've entered 5 awards so far. We've won something in every single one of them. So
very nice.
And we thought, in particular, we'd enter in London because this is the home of gin, right?
Yeah.
So if you score well in London, you're clearly doing something right. And we were very delighted to get our silver.